Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be swapping my screen time for reading. I know I've done this literally last month, but last month's was just added in to try and make me read some more of my TBR, whereas this one was a planned one. So yeah, also before I go any further, I have got a cold, so I might be sounding a bit weird or whatever. But yeah, so don't mind that. I have worked out all the hours and minutes that I need to read throughout the days, well, throughout the week. I haven't worked out the fully total hours yet, but I've got a list of all the hours and stuff that I need to read. Also, looking at this list, I've literally just realised that Saturday is also the least amount of hours and minutes and stuff that I need to read for, which is great, but Sunday is like kind of high, and at the weekend I'm gonna be like going out and stuff, doing stuff, so I've got to do this around that which is not gonna be the most fun. So yeah, fun times. I'm gonna have to work it around seeing family and stuff, so fun. But yeah, so let's get started with Monday, since it is Monday. The book I'm starting off with is Frog by Geoffrey White, which is, if you haven't seen 3 vlogs ago, I think it is, I was talking about this, how this is one I've had since I was 10, so like for 12 years. I read it when I got it, didn't really enjoy it that much, but I thought, you know what, since it's been a few years, I will pick it up and read it again. So that is what I'm doing this year. So I've got this one and the sequel to this, so I'm hoping to be able to read this and the sequel in this video, and possibly read the sequel and the third book of the, I think it's the Influencer series by Emilia. The one which is X's and O's and The Catch. I want to see if I can read them 2 books as well, or at least one of them books, or at least get partly into one of them. This video, sorry, I just needed to pause for a second to blow my nose. But yeah, so I want to try and get into one of them books in this video, so get this series finished and read, and then get into the other series. So yeah, that is what I want to do for this video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but yeah, so I'm hoping to read fully 2, possibly 3 books in this video. I haven't started this book. I was meant to start it literally last week, when I was like sorting out the hours I was meant to read for this week. Never really got around to starting reading it, so we're going to start reading it now, which also gives me a good landing point of how many books I fully have read and all the pages and stuff, because it starts on page 1, so I don't have to work it out that much. But yeah, so let's get the timer up on my phone for how long I need to read. That is the calculator. So today's hours of reading is 5 hours and 1 minute, which is ridiculous, but yeah, 5 hours and 1 minute I am reading for. So I've got my total 5 hours and 1 minute on, so let's get started. Hi guys, so it is Tuesday, which means another day of reading. Obviously yesterday I done just over 5 hours of reading. I got quite far into the book-ish. It does look like I have read a big chunk of the book, which is great. Especially since I am on like this page, so it's like this half that I need to read and this half that I have read already, which is cool. There's like I think there's 314 pages in this. No, 312 pages in this, and I've read 338 pages yesterday. So I'm on page 339. So yeah, so I did read quite a bit. And then I've got a lot to read today for a while, so depending on how I feel, I might be able to get this done today. That might be optimistic. But yeah, I might be able to like finish this today, or have like leave like the smallest amount and then finish it tomorrow. But yeah, so I have got quite far with this book. But yeah, so let's set my timer for today, and it is a 6 hour and 36 minute day of reading. 6 minutes. I've got to say, these hours are slightly down from last year, because there's no like 7 hours or anything. The highest is literally 6 hours and whatever minutes. The lowest is like 2 hours and something minutes. So it's not that bad as last month, but yeah, it's still quite high looking at this. And it also varies, because tomorrow's one is literally low, because it's like 3 hours tomorrow, but normally like my lower time last time was at the weekend. But yeah, so 6 hours and 36 minutes on my timer. We are gonna see how much I can read today and go from there. So let's hit play. I'll start and get reading. So I have just finished my reading for today of obviously the 6 hours and 36 minutes. In total of today I've read 202 pages. I literally just worked out on my phone because I finished Frog, and then I started the second book, which is Frog and the Sand Spider of Adrian, I think that is. But yeah, I took the dust cover thing off the hard book because I don't like reading like a hard book with like this on it, because it like slips and falls off and everything. So yeah, I got to page 28 in this book, so I've read page 28. I'm on page 29, and also the start of chapter 3. That was also was not planned, but yeah, I'm on that out of this book, and there is less pages in this book than the first one, and this one has 252 pages in. So yeah, I'm on this book now, getting through this one. Also, I did say I'll tell you guys what it says on the little note on this one. So it says "to me" again, to Samantha. This one says "never lose your imagination," and that with it signed. So yeah, so I'm going to put the dust cover back on this one, and yeah, so we are already one book down. I'm partly into another book in this challenge, so I might possibly be able to read the 4 books I want to read in this challenge, possibly. But yeah, that is where I'm at, so I will see you guys in a couple minutes. Well, it'll be literally seconds for you guys, and that for tomorrow's lot of reading. So it is Wednesday, another day of reading. Today isn't actually that much reading today. I also don't mind the little like tallies here. I was like working out the total hours I'm reading this week. Today is literally the second to least, I mean, not last, second to least amount of hours that I need to read in a day. Today, which is 3 hours and 34 minutes, I'm going to be reading for, so not that long. So let me get up on my watch. So yeah, so obviously I'm going to be reading Frog and the Sand Spiders of Adrian. And that, so yeah, so I'm going to be reading this. Obviously I'm starting from page 29, chapter 3. So obviously I started this yesterday. I'm taking the cover off because I don't like reading with the cover on. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this. Obviously I'm not reading that much today, so I probably won't end up finishing this book today since I have quite a bit to read, since I have like the whole of behind this bookmark to read, and I doubt I'm gonna get it read today, so yeah, this will probably be finished tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm gonna see how much of this I can read, so let's start the timer and read. So it's Thursday, which means another day of reading. Yesterday I only managed to read 72 pages, so I'm now on page 101. I'm not in the middle of a chapter and stuff, so I'm on page 101. So yeah, another day of reading, so I'm hoping that I can at least get to like the epilogue or something in this book today, since today is my longest time for reading today, so I'm hoping I can get to the epilogue of this book, if not finish it, because there's only, how many pages were there? 252, I think it was something like that, pages. So there aren't that many pages in this book, so I'm hoping I can somewhat finish it or get nearly to the end of this book today. But yeah, so today's hours of reading is 6 hours and 47 minutes. Oh my god, that scared me then. But yeah, 6 hours and 47 minutes of reading today. So I'm gonna set that up on my timer. And let's get started, shall we? So guys, it is Friday, So that means another load of reading. Yesterday was obviously the highest amount that I needed to read, well, the longest I needed to read for. Also, didn't really read a lot yesterday, even though it was like the longest I needed to read for. I ended up, so far I've read more on Tuesday, and that by looking at my sheet. Monday I only read 138 pages, Tuesday I read 202, with also the book change, well, finishing the book and then starting this one. And then obviously Wednesday was 72 pages, so I didn't really read for that long. And then yesterday, with the longest day of reading, I read 152 pages, which was to the end of this book. I think it was because it was a lot of reading, and I was also like tired and trying to like process everything. It took me ages to read this, and I was like reading it very slowly that day, with also obviously having to do 101 other things as well. Reading this, I went quite slowly, but I've now finished this book, and that's so yeah, so today we are starting a new book, so there's kind of a book change in this one today as well. But yeah, with how I'm feeling about this book and the first book, still feeling the same about them, like not really my cup of tea. But yeah, obviously going to keep them anyway because they have my name in, because they're signed to me. But yeah, not really feeling these books, and that's still. But yeah, so we are going to start X's and O's, which is the second book. I think it is the second book, or is it the other one that's the second book? I'm not sure. I need to look that up actually. From Amy Leah. Oh no, this is the second book. Okay, so this is the second book in the Influencer series. I read the first book in this series around like a year ago, well, just under a year ago, because I think I started it in November. I read it in November, but yeah, so I've now reading the second book in the series. So yeah, so I'm gonna read this book and start this book, and let's see how far I can actually get into it. Today there is around, oh no, that's from the third book. That was acknowledgements. Here, 361 pages in this book. Obviously I'm not going to finish the book today, but with where I'm at the moment, I'm thinking, and looking at the amount of time I've left to read, I'm thinking I possibly could finish this book and be partway through the third book in the series, which I'm kind of thinking is just a good thing. And then it's also scaring me off, do I then start a Christmas book after I finish that one? I'm not sure. But yeah, but today we are reading for 5 hours and 38 minutes today. So yeah, we're gonna get into this book. So let me just get the time on my phone up. 5 hours and 13 minutes. Now I've got the time, let's start it and start reading when I find the page. So yeah, so Saturday, so it means another day of reading, but it's actually the least amount of reading today. Yesterday, obviously, I started X's and O's. I got to page 225, which is chapter 13. So I read 124 pages yesterday, and that. So yeah, today it's reading for 2 hours and 36 minutes, which is the least amount of time that I need to read this week. So I know I'm probably not going to finish this book today. It'll be tomorrow I probably end up finishing it. But yeah, so got my timer set, so let's get started, shall we? So it is Sunday, the last day of reading, so let's get started. Today's time of reading is, let me set it up here, is for 5 hours and 51 minutes. So yeah, so I'm going to be reading X's and O's to finish this off. I got up to page 194 yesterday, so I read 70 pages in the small amount of time, the least amount of time of reading. But yeah, so got nearly 6 hours, so 5 hours and 51 minutes, nearly 6 hours of reading to do. So yeah, so I'm starting on page 194. So let's see how many pages I can get read to if I could actually finish this book or not today, and go from there. So let's start the timer and get reading. So I have just finished doing my reading for today, well, and for the whole week, and surprisingly, I have read the most today. I read 227 pages, so I managed to finish X's and O's and get quite a bit into this book. I'm 60 pages into this book. Yeah, I'm up to chapter 8. Now I'm going to be starting chapter 8 when I next start reading. So yeah, so I got quite far into this. I think with this week I've worked out that if I'm into the book, then I can breeze through the book. But if I'm not really feeling the book or anything, it takes me a bit longer to read it. Because with the 2 frog books, let me just get them. They took me longer to read, these 2, even though I was reading these in my longer amount of times, longer hours of reading for like the days, I still don't get like far or read that much on them days. Whereas these, it's like, with these I was like, I didn't have that much like long hours to read, or just one long hour to read, like set of hours to read and stuff, and I got quite far into them. So yeah, I think it is mainly all over the place with the amount of hours I have read for and the amount of pages I read to the hours or whatever. It's all over the place. But I kind of did do what I set out to do this week, which is at least finish 2 books, possibly 3, and get partway into the 4th book, which I have done, which obviously I have read 3 books and got partway into the 4th book. I don't even know if it's a quarter of the book. Let me just work it out. There's 379 pages. 379 divided by 4. No, I didn't even get like a quarter of the way through. I'm just like under a quarter of the way through the 4th book. But yeah, I'll be able to finish it like really quickly anyway. But yeah, so I'll just give you quickly a run through of the hours and the pages I read again. So Monday was 5 hours and 1 minute, read 138 pages. Tuesday, 6 hours and 36 minutes to read, read 202 pages. Also finished the book, finished Frog, and then obviously started the 2nd book. And then Wednesday was 3 hours and 34 minutes, read 72 pages. Then Thursday was the longest time of reading, which was 6 hours and 47 minutes, which I read 52 pages, which is the day I finished this book. Friday, I read for 5 hours and 38 minutes, read 124 pages, which is the time I started this book on Friday. Saturday was the lowest amount of time I had to read for, which was 2 hours and 26 minutes. And I read 70 pages, and then obviously today I read for 5 hours and 51 minutes, where I managed to finish this book and start this book, and I read 227 pages. So this month compared to last month of doing this, my time on my phone went down a bit, not much. I had a few like 7 hours of reading last month, so my timing has gone down a bit. My total pages read has gone obviously down as well, due to not having any like 7 hours of reading to do, because I think it was like 1,000 or something last time. Last month it was like my total pages was in like the 1,000, like 1,000 and something. This time it's under 1,000, but I'm just gonna do a little summary of like my stats and stuff, of all my details of like my total hours read, the highest amount of hours, lowest amount of hours, and my total amount of pages and the amount of books and stuff that I've read this month. And now I'll show that now, just so you guys can have like an overhaul of everything. So yeah, that was all my sats. I will see you guys I was gonna say tomorrow then, it's not tomorrow. I will see you guys Sunday for another vlog. So yeah, see you guys then. Bye.